Brain. Brain. The brain is the most complex organ in the human body. It is responsible for everything we do, from thinking and feeling to moving and breathing. The brain can be divided into three main parts. The cerebrum is the largest part of the brain, making up about 80% of its weight. It is divided into two hemispheres, the right and left hemisphere, which are connected by a bundle of nerves called the corpus callosum. The cerebrum is responsible for higher functions such as thinking, learning, memory, emotion, and speech. Frontal lobe. The frontal lobe is located at the front of the brain and is responsible for planning, decision-making, problem-solving, judgment, and movement. Parietal lobe. The parietal lobe is located behind the frontal lobe and is responsible for processing sensory information such as touch, pain, and temperature. It also plays a role in spatial awareness and navigation. Occipital lobe. The occipital lobe is located at the back of the brain and is responsible for processing visual information. Temporal lobe. The temporal lobe is located on the side of the brain and is responsible for processing auditory information, as well as memory and emotion. Cerebellum. The cerebellum is located at the back of the brain, below the cerebrum. It is responsible for coordinating movement, balance, and posture. Brainstem. The brainstem is located at the base of the brain and connects the brain to the spinal cord. It is responsible for controlling basic body functions such as breathing, heart rate, digestion, and sleep. Brain part. Cerebrum. Higher functions such as thinking, learning, memory, emotion, and speech. Cerebellum coordinates movement, balance, and posture. Brainstem controls basic body functions such as breathing, heart rate, digestion, and sleep. Neurons. There are two main ways to classify neurons: by function and by structure. Functional classification. Neurons can be classified into three main types based on their function. Sensory neurons. These neurons carry information about the environment, such as touch, temperature, and pain, from the skin, muscles, and other organs to the central nervous system. They essentially act as messengers carrying signals from the body to the brain. Motor neurons. These neurons carry signals from the central nervous system to the muscles, telling them to contract or relax. They are responsible for all voluntary movements in the body. Interneurons. These neurons are the most abundant type of neuron and are found entirely within the central nervous system. They relay information between sensory and motor neurons, as well as between other interneurons. They play a crucial role in integrating information and coordinating complex activities. Structural classification. Neurons can also be classified based on the number of processes, axons, and dendrites they have. Unipolar neurons. These neurons have only one process extending from the cell body. They are rare in the human nervous system and are mainly found in the embryo. Bipolar neurons. These neurons have two processes, one axon and one dendrite, extending from opposite ends of the cell body. They are also uncommon in humans and are primarily found in the retina of the eye and the olfactory epithelium responsible for smell. Pseudonipolar neurons. These neurons have a single process that splits into two branches shortly after leaving the cell body. One branch functions as an axon, while the other functions like a dendrite. They are the most common type of sensory neuron. Multipolar neurons. These neurons have multiple dendrites and a single axon. They are the most common type of neuron in the central nervous system and come in a variety of shapes and sizes. It's important to note that these are just two ways to classify neurons, and there is some overlap between the two systems. For example, most motor neurons are multipolar, while most sensory neurons are pseudonipolar,